Hey everybody, welcome to Discard and Draw. I'm Steel, this is my brother Tank, and today we're reviewing Tiny Epic Galaxies. This is a real fun game. Tank, what kind of a game is this?
This is a dice and card game. There's no board. It's not a board game per se, but you're rolling dice and you're collecting cards to earn victory points. And it's a sci-fi game.
It sounds like fun. Let's open it up and take a look. So this is a basic setup for a two-player game. Each player gets their own galaxy mat. You can play up to 5 people. There are 5 different colors. Mm-hmm. The planets, you draw planets from this deck here, and these are the planets that you can purchase. And the number of planets that are out at a time are the number of players plus 2.
That's right. At the start of the game, each player is going to get 2 of these cards here. These are secret mission cards.
Ooh, secrets.
They're secret from everyone but yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
So each player is going to get 2 of these, and you're going to pick one that you want to keep of these 2. And basically, they're goals that will give you extra points at the end of the game if you complete them. But you're only keeping one. You keep one goal. You pick which one you want to keep. The other one goes back in the deck, and that's your goal for the game. Should you complete it, at the end of the game, you're going to get some bonus victory points. So your galaxy mat is used to track your resources throughout the course of the game. At the start of the game, you're going to start with 2 spaceships. And as you increase the level of your galaxy, you're going to gain access to up to 2 more spaceships. You can have, by the time your galaxy is maxed out in level, you're going to have 4 spaceships. And these spaceships are used to capture the planets. Now, you're also going to be tracking on your galaxy mat your energy and your culture. And those are your resources that you're going to be spending to do various actions. So the majority of the game is going to be spent rolling these dice here. And these dice are actually custom dice. They don't have numbers on them. They have symbols. And depending on what symbol you roll is going to determine what actions you can take on your turn. So everyone's going to start with the ability to roll 4 dice. And as you upgrade your galaxy, you're going to get more dice to roll. By the end of the game, you're going to end up with 7 dice. Now, the cool thing about this game is that the box is actually useful as a dice tray. And they printed a little sci-fi galaxy. That's inside nice. The top. Yeah.
It's very nice.
Inside the top there, and it says dice tray in it. So you can, if you want to, you can use this to roll your dice in. And it works really well. I mean, this box is made of really nice cardboard stock.
It's pretty thick cardboard, actually, for a box. It's very nice.
It's very sturdy. So this is a really cool way to, if you're traveling, you bring this game with you. Mm-hmm. It gives you a nice surface to roll your dice on.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about losing them or something if you're playing, on a really small table or something. Mm-hmm. You can keep them all from going off the table or something. The bottom of the box also has a nice handy little frequently asked question about some of the planets and how their effects work within the game.
The game actually comes with this mat called the Activation Bay, where you can actually track the dice that you've activated, and it also has what each dice does, what each symbol does on the dice, which is nice.
It's a nice little feature that they added.
Right.
So the other thing you can do on your turn, if you don't like what you rolled with your dice, you do get 1 free reroll. After that, if you want to reroll your dice again, you got to spend 1 energy each time you reroll after the first. Now, the other thing you can do if you don't like your dice is you can actually spend 2 of your dice, put them in the converter there, and change the face of one of your leftover dice to whatever you want. So after you roll your dice, you're going to activate each dice one at a time, and you don't have to activate them in any specific order. You're going to basically determine what the best order is for you on that turn. There's 6 sides on the dice. You're going to have one that's an arrow with a rocket on it. You've got this one that looks like the stock market there. Looks like a laurel with a target in the middle of it. A pillar inside of a circle. And then something that looks like it was ripped directly off of King of Tokyo.
Yep.
And this one that looks like a little city inside of a dome. And those are each different actions that you can take. So we'll go over the actions one at a time so you can kind of get a feel for how the game works. The first one we'll go over is the little rocket ship one. When you activate one of these dice, you get to move your ship, one of your ships, from your galaxy to one of the planets here. And there's two ways you can interact with a planet. You can either land directly on the planet, which allows you to use the planet's special ability once. The other thing you can do is begin orbiting the planet, which allows you to eventually capture the planet and add it to your galaxy. So now that we've gone over what the ships do, we want to go over how to capture a planet using the ship. Once you're orbiting a planet, you can begin to capture the ship by activating either the diplomacy side of the dice, which is the laurel with the target in it, or the economic side of the dice, which is the little stock exchange looking gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Each planet has one of these two symbols on their orbiting track. If you have a ship orbiting a planet, you can activate a dice that has the matching symbol of that planet's orbiting track to move your ship one space along the orbit track. When your ship reaches the symbol, you have successfully captured that planet and can add it to your galaxy. Two of the other sides of the dice are used to give you resources. The lightning bolt and the pillar will give you energy and culture respectively. And those are tracked on your galaxy map with these little wooden... Well, this is a cube, this is a cylinder. And actually the dice, the symbol is also... the culture is a circle, which this is the culture one is a cylinder, and the energy is in a box, and this is a cube, so it makes it easier for you to tell them apart. Each time you roll one of these, you are going to gain energy or culture, whichever symbol it is, equal to the number of planets that your ships are on currently, or orbiting, that have that symbol on them. If I were to activate an energy one, I have one ship on a planet with an energy symbol and one ship in my home galaxy. Your home galaxy counts as a planet with an energy symbol. So I would get 2 energy for activating an energy dice right now. If I were to try and activate a culture dice right now, I would get no culture because neither of my ships are on any planets with culture icons. The icons are in the upper right corner of the card. And there is actually an icon on your galaxy mat as well. So culture is used in this game to copy someone else's action. When a player plays a dice and activates its ability, you can spend 1 culture to copy that action and do it yourself.
Right away.
Right away. So the last side we want to talk about is the one that looks like a little city with a dome over it. What that actually does is that allows you to activate one of your galaxy abilities. Your galaxy map comes with 1 ability, and each planet you acquire is going to add its planet ability to your list of galaxy abilities that you can activate using this side of the dice. The initial galaxy ability is simply spending resources to upgrade your galaxy. And this is going to give you access to more dice, more ships, and it's also going to give you victory points. Your galaxy can go up to level 6, which, should you get that high, you're going to end up with 4 ships, 7 dice, and 8 victory points. And each planet has its own ability on the bottom of the card that once you acquire a planet, you're going to take that planet, slide it underneath your galaxy mat, and this actually lines up perfectly with your galaxy mat. And this ability is now something you can use when you activate one of these sides of the dice.
So to level up your galaxy, you have to spend either energy or culture. And the cost to go to the next level is right on your mat. To go to level 2, it costs 2, either energy or culture.
Yep.
3 is 3, 4 is 4, and I think you get the picture. But it has to be either one or the other. You cannot combine energy and culture together to pay for a total.
Yep.
It has to be one.
Yeah, you can only use one type of resource. So.
Right.
So in addition to getting victory points from upgrading your galaxy, each planet is also worth a number of victory points, which is on the bottom right of the card. Once someone has reached 21 victory points, the round finishes out, and then everyone counts up their victory points and adds in any extra victory points from their secret mission, and whoever has the most victory points at the end wins.
So, Tank, what if there's a tie at the end of the game? What happens?
Well, if there's a tie in victory points, then the person with the most planets is going to be the winner.
Oh, well, what if people have the same amount of planets?
Well, if they're tied for victory points and planets, then the person with the highest galaxy level is going to be the winner.
Oh, wait. But what if that's the same too?
Well, if that happens too, then the person with the most resources is going to be the winner.
Wow. But what happens if they have the same amount of resources?
Well, at that point, it's just a tie game.
At that point, everyone's a winner.
Yeah. Well, just the people that tied.
Right. Well, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So, Steele, what do you think of this game?
I really like this game. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of different things you can do. I like the dice rolling.
Yep.
The spaceships. All the pieces are nice.
Yeah. Very high quality pieces.
Yeah, very high quality pieces. The dice are actually very nice.
And the funny thing is about that is that this was a Kickstarter game.
Right.
And initially, the pieces weren't quite this quality. But because so many people backed it, a couple of the stretch goals were upgrading the pieces, and they actually met those goals. So the pieces got upgraded to these nice. The trackers have screen printing on them with the symbols.
Yep.
The dice are a nice high quality dice. With a nice finish on them.
They're very, very nice, very well done, which I like. It's always nice to see somebody put time and when they got the money to put the money into the back into the game, which is always good to see.
Yep.
But it's a lot of fun. I mean, you get going and you're upgrading this, you're getting planets, everybody's doing stuff. It's a really fun game, and there's really not that. I mean, it's not that complicated of a game. There are tons of instructions everywhere that let you know what does what and how to play, basically.
The symbols are very easy to follow.
Yeah.
And they're very clear.
Yes, very clear.
On the cards and on the boards and everything. Everything's pretty clear.
Right.
What everything does. Most of the planet actions are pretty straightforward. There's, like we said earlier, a couple of frequently asked questions if certain special conditions come up for some of them, but for the most part, it's pretty simple. Which
every game has those moments, I think.
Yeah.
But it's good that it's very nice they addressed a bunch of them, and I mean that's just.
They did listen a lot to their fans in making this game.
It seems like they did.
A lot of the review. Well, and the other thing is that. Again, because the Kickstarter was so successful, they ended up adding a lot more planets to the game than they initially had, because initially this deck was a lot smaller. But they met so many of their stretch goals that they just started, and I think a few of the planets were actually designed by some of the backers. I think that was one of the levels you could back, was like you paid this much money and you could
create your own planet.
Either create your own planet or name a planet or come up with an ability. I don't remember what it was, but...
That's very cool.
Some aspect of some of the planets were designed by some of the backers.
That's cool.
That was pretty cool. Yeah. So this is definitely a game that I'm going to hang on to.
Yeah.
I bet this game I backed on Kickstarter too. I was one of the backers, and because of that, I got the little mini. I don't really necessarily want to call this an expansion, but. It's called Satellites and Super Weapons. Adds these super weapons to the game, which are they act kind of like a planet,
right?
But you don't collect it; you blow it up,
right?
So
It's always fun to blow stuff up in space.
and you get these little satellite tokens that go onto your galaxy mat. And as you pass those levels, upgrading your galaxy, you add them to planets, and they do extra things. So it's a neat little addition to the game. And it is still available to purchase on BoardGameGeek.com in the store. So if you do want to pick that up, you can still pick that up for the game. So that's it for this episode of Discard and Draw. I'm Tank. This is my brother Steel.
Like our videos, hit that subscribe button, do what you gotta do, and we will see you in the next review.